Today we're looking at a piece of hardware that solves a very specific and honestly very annoying headache in Pro AV. It's the Kramer CLS-AOCH 623030, and we're looking at the specs provided by HDTV Supply.
Yeah, it's a bit of an alphabet soup name.
It really is. But for our deep dive today, our mission is to explore how professionals actually manage to send massive amounts of data over huge distances without losing quality.
Right, because if you've ever tried to set up a high-end home theater or commercial display, you know the pain points.
Exactly. And we're using the manufacturer's technical data along with some verified customer reviews to figure out why this specific cable is kind of a big deal. Because we were talking about a 70-meter run here.
Which is about 230 feet.
Yeah. And at that distance, standard copper HDMI cables are basically just expensive jump ropes.
They really are. The physics they don't work for high bandwidth over copper at that length. You hit a wall of attenuation incredibly fast.
Which means signal loss.
Exactly. Getting a pristine signal from a server rack in a basement all the way to a projector on the third floor is usually a total nightmare of extenders and power supplies.
So that's where the hybrid part of this Kramer cable comes in. It's an active optical hybrid.
Yeah, it's really the only reliable way to push 18 gigabits per second that far. The hybrid engineering is smart because you have actual fiber optic strands handling the high-speed video data.
Which means light is carrying the data, not electricity.
Right. And light doesn't suffer from that same signal drop-off. Plus, you are completely immune to EMI and RFI interference.
Oh, that's huge for commercial spaces.
Totally. Think about a ceiling grid filled with fluorescent lights and HVAC motors. Standard copper just acts like a giant antenna for all that electrical noise. Fiber just ignores it.
But fiber can't carry power.
Right, and the active chips inside the HDMI connectors need voltage to work. So they kept copper wires in the jacket alongside the glass fiber just to carry the power.
So you get the massive bandwidth of fiber without needing to plug in some clunky external power adapter behind the TV.
It streamlines the whole installation.
And we should emphasize the quality here. This supports full 4K resolution at 60 Hz with a 4.4.4 color space.
That 4.4.4 is the critical number for pro setups. It means there is zero chroma subsampling.
You aren't throwing away any color data just to save bandwidth.
Exactly. Plus, it passes through uncompressed audio, Dolby Digital True HD, DTS HD master audio. You get the bit-perfect stream exactly as it left the source 230 feet away.
But honestly, looking at this design, the specs might not even be the best part.
Oh, you're talking about the physical installation.
The detachable heads. I saw that and immediately thought of every single time I've tried to fish a standard, bulky HDMI head through a tight wall conduit.
It never fits. It gets stuck on everything.
Always. But with this, you literally pull off the full-size HDMI connector shell.
And you're left with this tiny micro HDMI end. The whole cable diameter drops down to just 3.4 millimeters.
That is absurdly thin. And they even include a little pull-through capsule.
They do. You snap it over the fragile micro tip so you can safely drag the fiber through tight spaces. And the cable itself has a bending radius of only 6 millimeters.
So you can snake it around sharp corners without snapping the glass inside.
Super forgiving for installers.
Now, regarding safety, the jacket is rated LSHF.
Low smoke and halogen free.
Right, so if there's a fire in a building, it won't off-gas toxic smoke.
Which is often a strict legal requirement for plenum spaces in schools or corporate offices. It keeps you up to code.
And the build quality matches that professional grade. It has 24-karat gold-plated connectors to resist corrosion. But we do have to talk about the investment here.
The price tag.
Yeah. HDTV Supply has it listed on sale for around $636, down from nearly $800.
Which is a steep entry price if you are only used to buying $10 consumer cables.
But verified buyers seem to think it's worth it. Jeffrey C. called it excellent, and Rico T. said it's always great products.
Because the pros know you have to weigh the price against the alternative.
The cost of a failure.
Exactly. If you run a cheap copper cable 230 feet through a wall and it flakes out a month later, you aren't just buying a new cable. You're paying for a technician's truck roll. You're ripping out drywall. You're refishing conduit.
So suddenly, $600 looks like a bargain for a completely install-it-and-forget-it solution.
You're really just buying insurance that the signal will get there perfectly every single time.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive on this hybrid fiber solution.
But I do have one thing for you to chew on before you go.
Lay it on us.
Next time you're sitting in a massive sports arena or a huge lecture hall and you see a crystal clear 4K screen, don't just look at the pixels.
Think about what's behind the wall.
Exactly. Think about the invisible, hair-thin glass highway running hundreds of feet through the concrete that actually makes it all possible.
A great point to end on. See you on the next one.